Well, I'm back here in the UP to work on our off-grid cabin. If you've seen any of the past videos on this cabin, you know it's a work in progress. This was an abandoned hunting camp on 26 acres. I bought it a year and a half ago from the previous owner. It had all grown back in. You couldn't hardly get down the muddy 2-track to get into it. I bought it for land value only, and man, does this place have trees. And I'll probably do a little hunting here now and then, but I want a place where I can come up and get away, just enjoy the outdoors up here, and that's what we bought this thing for. We knew this cabin was in disrepair when we bought it. It had sat for a few years not being used, and I decided after I looked at it, it would be okay that we could take care of those issues and make a nice cabin out of it. Whenever you buy a place like this, your first thoughts are, well, I can jump in and take care of it all, get it done, and a couple of trips up, we'll have a place to stay, enjoy the outdoors. Well, that's not always true. Now, whether you're buying a off-grid property with an old cabin already on it, you plan on remodeling, rebuilding, or whether you buy just a piece of property and plan on building your own, everything on building, no matter what you're doing, is going to be in sequence. If you try to jump past a certain part of it, it's just going to take you longer. So you got to put a little bit of thought into some of the things you're doing. A good example of that would be my first trip up here. This driveway was a sunken 2-track with about 1.5 feet of water right here in front of me. It was full of trees, slick, muddy, narrow to get in, scratched up your vehicle. So we hauled in 15 loads of material and I spread it out and fixed the driveway. And that's just one example of sequences. If you can't get into the place, it's really hard to work on it. Last fall, our last trip up here, I rented a little tractor and I leveled this driveway, raised it up so we wouldn't get stuck in it anymore, put some pit run in, and I also built this pad that the shipping containers sit on. They brought it in last fall after we left. They left it setting right here in our driveway, so we got a local guy to come in and put it up on the pad, and he just did that a week and a half ago. And our idea was to take all the tools that we had stored inside this cabin, put them inside the Connex so they were secure, and then I could start working on the cabin. In the last year and a half, I've made 6 trips to come out here and work on the cabin. And in every trip, we find more stuff that needs done. So far in all our past trips, every bit of the work has been done to the property for egress, cleaning it up, and we still have more of that to do. But this trip, we actually spent some time looking at the cabin really well to see what needed to be done to it. Originally, all I was going to do was replace the janky 2x4 floor that had 1/2-inch plywood on it with 2x8 joist and foundation support pads and raise it up about 18 inches. Then install a new interior with door and windows and paint it. But after a thorough look at the cabin, now I understand why they sold it for land value only. And with everything else we found that needed to be done to it, we think we would be better off with our time and money just to build another cabin. Some of the building techniques on both the bearing walls are dangerously substandard, and it could collapse when trying to lift it and build a new floor under it. Someone could get injured, or even worse. So between our time, money, and the safety issues, we're going to build a new one. The silver lining on this is the cabin is dry and would make a great tool shed and material storage while we build our other cabin. Now, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed. This is something I was really looking forward to. But my wife, she's really excited about a single story with the same amount of square footage as this one. And she doesn't have to worry about me falling off the roof or the cabin caving in on me. I guess I'm happy too. That's one way to do the dishes, huh? Yeah. So what's next? Well, we brought all our tools back into the cabin, got it set up as a tool shed and a place to store materials. And while we're up here this trip, I'm going to build a temporary shelter so we have a place to stay when we start building our cabin in about a month. So with solid plans and a good direction to go, we headed on into the Sioux to Rotary Park to watch the ships and to stop at Clyde's and get a burger. My wife checked her phone app for freighters and we found out the Arthur M. Anderson was coming down the St. Mary's River. That was the last ship to see the Edmonds Fitzgerald when it went down on November 10th, 1975 off of Whitefish Point. So Glenda, what do you think of the Clyde's mushroom Swiss burger and fries?
They're excellent.
I just may give you a little teaser on our temporary shelter that I'm going to be building. I will be doing that little build on my next video. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me while I do these videos. If you've enjoyed this, hit the like button. Check out some of my other videos. If you enjoy those, consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Thanks again for watching. Make your life an adventure, and God bless.